My name is Dion Evans, and I'm the traveling agent. I own my own agency, Travel by Day, and I've been a travel advisor for 7.5 years. I'd love to take you on some of my adventures with me. In this episode, I'm taking you to Fiji. Made up of 330 islands, this nation is considered the home of the happiest people on Earth. One third of the islands are uninhabited, and the two main islands are Viti Levu and Vanuatu. I went in May, which was the start of the dry season and a great time to go for low rates. For this trip, I flew Fiji Airways in business class. It was my first time flying with the airline and I had a great experience. The lie flat seats were very comfy, though I didn't get a lot of sleep since I wanted to be up for the dinner and breakfast services. I was able to watch a couple movies on the entertainment center and I loved the noise canceling headphones. I wasn't very hungry during the flight, so I didn't check out the snacks, but I did love the bread that they served during dinner and the fruit that was served with breakfast. Because of the time difference and the 11-hour flight, we arrived 2 days after departure. We arrived on the main island of Viti Levu at the Nandi airport. The heat and humidity hit us immediately when we exited the airport. We met our driver for our scheduled transfer though, and after providing us with some shell lays, he escorted us to our air-conditioned van. Then we headed to Denarau, which is a man-made island created in 1969. It's known for its high-end resorts, Port Denarau, which is Fiji's largest marina complex, and it's a huge golf hotspot. While we were there was a golf tournament going on, so there were a lot of golfers at our hotel and in the nearby areas that we visited. After our 20-minute drive, we arrived to our hotel, the Sheraton Fiji Golf and Beach Resort. It was created in 1987 and was closed during COVID for a $75 million renovation. It's home to the largest shopping center of any property in Denarau, offers a kids club and a virtual games room for teens, and also holds Fiji's largest playground, which is right next to their farm. They're the only property on Denarau to have a wedding chapel, and soon their rarely used lounge is going to be converted to a wine and whiskey bar. They have 3 pools, including an adults only pool, which is surprisingly quiet despite how close it is to the family pool. And they have some of the largest rooms on the island. I stayed in an oceanfront room with 2 queen beds, but also toured the property and got to see the oceanfront large studio as well. During the tour, the sales manager Kaliova let me know that since the renovation, the new Sheraton is all about community. They partnered with Maria Rover, who employs 70 Native women and showed them how to do paintings on tapa. The paintings are featured in each room, and Kaliova said it's something that adds a human touch to the resort. She also told me that 40% of the food in the restaurants on site are from their 5-acre farm. By the end of the year, they'll be organic certified. We also walked over to the next door Sheraton Villas. Guests at each property can visit the other to use the pools and charge restaurant bills to their room. The pools at the villas are quieter, even the family pool. One thing to note is that because Denarau is man-made, the beaches have darker colored sand. While it might not be what you picture for a Fiji vacation, the beaches are still beautiful, and Denarau makes a great pre or post location for a cruise trip. There is so much to do on Viti Levu and Denarau. I traveled with my dad and stepmom, and we stayed for 6 nights and were kept busy the whole time. My personal favorite activity was our day trip to Malamala Beach Club. I enjoyed relaxing on my poolside daybed, and the service, food, and views were excellent. I did have a butler, but as she mentioned at the end of the day, since I was asleep most of the time, she didn't need to help me too much. My dad and stepmom spent most of their day on their beachfront cabana. I walked around the island for a bit, and then me and my stepmom got into the water to snorkel. While everyone else was rushing to get back on the boat to go back to Denarau, my butler told me and my family to stay back as we had plenty of time. She chatted with us and let us know what was going on in her life, and she was just a wonderful person. She had us laughing with her stories, and before we left, she asked if she could take a picture, which she shared on her social media. Another day, we flew into the Suva Nausori area. My stepmom's parents were born there, and we visited the area that they used to live in, and were taken on a very detailed tour hosted by her cousin. While you may not have family in the area, a guided day tour would be an excellent choice for an activity. We visited the local market where we saw vibrant colored fruits and vegetables. We saw a few things we'd never seen before and tried the sweetest oranges. We also went to the Fiji Museum to learn a little bit about the island nation's history. And then we visited the Grand Pacific Hotel, a famous historical hotel in the area. Suva is on the rainier side of the BT Lagoon, and it did rain a couple times while we were there, including a couple times where it rained quite hard. Another activity took us to the Denarau Marina, and we took a South Sea sailing cruise that went through the Mamanucas. Halfway through the sailing, we stopped at a sandbar and went snorkeling. While the water wasn't low enough for them to bring out the chairs for us to have lunch, it was still very nice to snorkel and take in the views. The staff on this trip were incredible. My dad was a bit nervous to snorkel, but Lindua held out a helping hand. Not only did he stay with my dad and stepmom to show him the best places to see the fish, he also dived down and got my dad's wedding ring, which fell off his finger right when he jumped into the water. It only took him a couple minutes to find the ring and ease our panic. I was having issues with my mask, so I went back on board the catamaran. Another employee noticed, and he offered to call over the raft with a motor to take me straight to the sandbar. Later, when Lindua noticed I was having issues, he offered to swap masks with me. I was then able to enjoy the snorkeling experience. Back on board, there was a great lunch with tons of options and delicious drinks. They even had a dance party on the way back, but I'm not going to share footage of that because my dad would kill me. Once we were close to Port Denarau, they sang us the traditional Fiji farewell song. Though the Sheraton doesn't have a spa of its own, the nearby Westin does. While undergoing a renovation, their spa is still open. The Sheraton staff was happy to set up an appointment for us, and they also arranged a golf cart to pick us up and take us to the spa, which was not too far away. The spa is indoor-outdoor, so it's not very affected by the renovation. I had a deep tissue massage, but my masseuse also used some practices from the traditional bobo massage. We would have visited the spa again if we weren't so busy throughout the trip. We only had one day where we enjoyed the resort, hung out on the beach, and took a dip in the pool. One night we watched a show by the local fire dancers. The marina has the most dining options, so that's where we went the most for dinners. Nandina was a restaurant recommended to us, and that's where we first tried kokonda, a local version of ceviche. Kokonda is absolutely delicious and is infused with coconut. My favorite version of the kokonda was at 100 Sails. I liked that one the best because it had extra lime. At Woo's Chopsticks, we ran into the first Fijian billionaire, so it was not surprising that the food was great. Everything is served family style in really large portions, and the restaurant is really hard to find. It's a bit of a hole in the wall, so you have to search for it. At Bonefish, I had lobster bisque, which was very tasty. And at Wet Edge, I was surprised to like the cassava fries, which went really well with my poke. There are so many great things to try in Fiji, and I hope to someday go back. Thank you so much for watching. If you're hungry for more tips for your next Fiji vacation, you can go to travelbyday.com. Keep a lookout for our next episode, and as always, stay traveling.